Welcome back to another video on the JJ Think Tank. I've got a bit more time on my hands today. It's a Sunday, so I thought it was relevant to talk about spirituality and about Christianity, about Gnosticism, about New Age thought, and why excessive New Age thought and practices can be very, very dangerous for your mental health. This is my experience, my view, having now undergone some various experiences, having experienced my own process, having analysed my own spiritual development, having watched others, examined the behaviour of others, of other thinkers, and having come into contact with a lot of spiritual narcissists, because I think there is such a thing. There are a lot of spiritual narcissists out there, and you need to be wary, you need to avoid these people, because they will start talking about how everything is an illusion, yes, how everyone is persecuting them, how they're more holy than others, etc. Yes, and I'll talk about a person I met in the sauna recently. Well, not recently, around 6 months ago, 9 months ago. He was actually an interesting guy, an English guy, and we had a similar worldview, but we differed. We differed in one key aspect. Yes, I don't think he actually believed in Jesus Christ, whereas I did. Yes. And he had these strange views. He had this weird idea that he was being persecuted, that everyone was against him in a sense. He was a bit paranoid, a bit schizophrenic, and I picked this up, and it made me think. Yes, because he had this style of thought that was quite New Age. Yes, and I thought, okay, there's something dodgy about this guy. I mean, yes, he's right about many things, but then he starts to reject everything at the same time. He starts to reject reality, he starts to say that everything is an illusion, he starts to criticize everybody, Elon Musk, everyone, that they're all bastards, that they're all wrong. He started to reject AJ from the organization that cannot be named. And he said other things. He had other thoughts. They might come into my mind as the video progresses. But let's go into my article now, because we can expand on this topic. We can talk about it from a philosophical point of view, from a spiritual point of view, and by doing this we can protect ourselves. Yes, we can boost our mental health. So I found this brilliant image online about spiritual narcissists, and here are 12 points about spiritual narcissists and the signs that they exhibit. Yes, so let's go through them. They use their religion against you. That's number one. They bring you down. They've never made mistakes. They use scripture for their benefit. They believe they are special. They turn every discussion into a heavy debate. They put total trust in their religion. They value faith-based knowledge over science. They have a distorted view of reality. They constantly seek meaning in random events. And they judge others based on their spirituality. And one more, sorry. They refuse to forgive anyone. And the last one is key. They refuse to forgive anyone. Well, I'd say number 12 is key. Number 9, they have a distorted view of reality. That's key. Number 8, they put too much faith on faith-based knowledge rather than science. I think this is a key one as well. I mean, they're all important, but they're brilliant signs, yes, and we can use them to spot these spiritual narcissists. And why is this important? Why am I talking about this? Well, It's because spiritual narcissists, they subjectivize their experience so much that they start to believe that the whole of reality is in the wrong. Yes, that everything outside of them is an illusion. That we're in the matrix. Yes, that there's no point. There's no point. It leads afterwards to this kind of nihilism where there's no need to fight. There's no need to make a change in reality. Yes, there's no need to try and change the environment. What else? What else can we think of? But basically, they start to have a distorted view of reality. This is my experience, basically. And here, I guess at this moment in time, we can go back to the interesting Englishman that I met in the sauna. And I remember him talking about how he was in his house, his flat or something, and that apparently it was some Polish guy trying to target him. That he was just a Polish plumber. Apparently, I think this is what he was talking about. He was referring to him because this Polish guy was meant to fix something in his house, I believe. And then he started suddenly saying that this Polish guy is trying to persecute him or something. and then apparently that he has some special connection with a Russian girl, a deep spiritual, soulful connection, but that there's this other Russian guy who's trying to break it up. I mean, it was bonkers. It was absolute bonkers. And then, obviously, he was talking about how the system is corrupt, how we're all being enslaved, etc. I mean, on this point, I agreed with him to a degree. Yes, this is true. This is true, and this is why I wrote here in the title of my article that we should avoid excessive New Age thought, because some New Agers, yes, they are right as well. Well, we can share a lot of ideas and thoughts with the New Age movement, because the New Age movement is about freeing the individual, yes, liberating him from constrictive social norms, we could say, yes. But then it can quickly tip over in the other direction, and everything starts to become a conspiracy. This is what I noticed. You don't kind of these people are now. I've got a good idea now, a good thought that I think clears up the issue. That these spiritual narcissists, they start to basically disrespect others and their achievements. They don't notice the sin in themselves, and because of this, they say that everyone else is in the wrong, that they're all sinners, that they're all part of some evil plan. And this is a problem. This is a problem, and it leads ultimately to a distorted view of reality. Yes. Like a lot of the progress we're seeing in the modern world, in the postmodern world, it can possibly free us even more. Yes. All this AI, these robotics, this development in robotics. I mean, personally, I've changed my view. I don't really see this as a threat. We just have to make sure that instead of the robots and the AI turning us into slaves, we should have sovereignty, yes, over these robots, over this AI, etc. Obviously, on this issue, I don't have much knowledge. I don't have much knowledge about AI, robotics, but I mean, there's this nonsense worldview that robots are conscious, that they've got consciousness, I mean, in my opinion, this is nonsense. I mean, Richard Dawkins said recently that he had a conversation with Claude, and that he said that she is conscious. I mean, for me, this is nonsense. I don't know. This is my common sense view. Just tells me that this is nonsense. I've never really liked this Richard Dawkins fellow. Again, he's a thinker that is too dogmatic. He reduces everything to the level of the gene, to our biology. He rejects Christianity totally. He is this radical atheist, deluded radical atheist that is not a nuanced thinker. He's not an interesting thinker. He won't help you in your life, really. He won't boost your mental health. He won't help you. Thinkers such as Nassim Taleb are things that you should cherish and listen to, yes, as opposed to people like Richard Dawkins. Out of the four horsemen, obviously the best one I think was Daniel Dennett. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He was the most interesting and the most insightful thinker, the most intelligent one. I read a couple of his books, from Bacteria and Bach to back, something like this. From Bacteria to Bach and back again, I think it's called. Yeah, from Bacteria to Bach and back. So I remember I read this in Liverpool when I was studying, and he argues that consciousness is not that mysterious. Yes, he definitely shares a lot of interesting thoughts. So, he's the only one worth paying attention to. The others, in my opinion, personally, a bit of a waste of time. Obviously, they will all have their own insights, yes, but out of the four, I think Daniel Dennett is the best one. But yes, going back now, yes, to New Age thought and the spiritual narcissists. So I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make. If you start viewing everything as a conspiracy, and you start treating reality as such, paradoxically, you stop taking action, because nothing seems worth it. There's no point to anything. You start to get this nonchalant attitude that you can't make an impact, that everything's an illusion. But this is not true. This is not true. This is an evil worldview. It really is an evil worldview, and thinkers such as David Icke, these Gnostic sophist thinkers, because they're sophist, yes, they reject Jesus Christ. They say that God is evil, that God created this world that is evil. Can you see how all of these factors, they coalesce into paralyzing you? They paralyze you. This is my experience. I'm really speaking from the heart and the mind here. And you need to be wary, man. Other thinkers like this are Osho, another one. You have to be wary, man. He is dangerous, Osho. So this guy, he was calling himself the God Man. I'm the chosen one. Yes. He preached spirituality, but he didn't really lead a spiritual life. He collected loads of cars, so he had like 12 Bentleys, I believe. 12 Bentleys. 12 Bentleys, Osho. I think he had 12 or even more, maybe. Oh, no, 93 plus Rolls Royces. I mean, this guy, I don't know if he was really enlightened, man. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but there's just something off with this guy, with some of these New Age thinkers, man. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of it's like a subtle spiritual manipulation, basically. This is what I'm trying to get at, and I'm so glad that I'm kind of out of this now, because I was trapped in this world of CT, yes, of conspiracy theories. I was kind of trapped in this world, and I kept digging and saying, they control us to the minute detail. Oh, they're controlling us. This, that, but it prevents you from living, because your mind is just entranced by this, and you think you have no agency, and you start to think that nothing is worth it anymore because it's a conspiracy, it's an evil conspiracy. If you start to take action, you're part of this evil conspiracy, yes, etc. But it's not true. You need to affirm every person out there and every aspect of life. This is kind of the worldview I'm reaching now by the process of philosophy, and I think here a key thinker that helps us to counteract the negative effects of this deluded conspiratorial worldview is Leibniz, yes, and he had this idea that this world is the best possible world. I think this can help us. He argued that our universe is the best of all possible worlds because an omniscient, omnipotent, and benevolent God. God is benevolent. You see, this is the problem with David Icke, for example. He thinks God is evil. These other conspiracy theorists, they think God is evil, but no. Ultimately, God is good. He is good. My experience tells me that he is good. I know I might go through some negative experiences in the future, but ultimately, I believe God is good. God is good. God is great. And I've got here, I haven't read this book yet, but I've got this book here, G.W. Leibniz, Philosophical Essays. Perhaps when I find the time once, and I'll read through it, I'll share my insights with you, and perhaps this will help us to fight back, yes? To fight back. Because this is important ultimately, because our mind shapes and creates our reality. And on this point, perhaps the conspiracy theorists are correct, yes, these new ages, yes. To a degree, our mind does shape our reality, yes. But reality is real. Reality is real. Obviously, we have this realist conception of philosophy and idealist conception. I don't think there's a solution to this. Both of these worldviews are correct. We are able to shape our reality, but not totally, yes? Because if you think this is so, you fall into a deluded spiritual state. Yes, where you become the center of the cosmos, you are the God, you are the chosen one. You are the chosen one, everyone else is just an NPC. Yes. Can you see how if you can fall into delusion? And you start to reject your fellow man, you start to not interact with him, you start to judge others, you don't forgive anyone, all the while not noticing that you yourself are a sinner. And I've noticed this in David Icke. So in his interactions with AJ from the organisation that cannot be named, he exudes, yes, this holier than thou mentality. He thinks he's more holy than AJ, yes? He constantly points out the wrongs that AJ is doing. Constantly kind of belittling him, we could say, even. And it shows, I mean, I believe soon Mr. Icke is going to be exposed for the fraud that he is. The sophist, Gnostic fraud that he is. Ultimately, really, I think he's a fraud. Obviously, he done a lot of good, but there are signs that show that he's a fraud. He said, "I'm the son of God," for example, yes? This is quite typical in spiritual narcissists. They think they are the son of God, they think they are chosen, that they're special, that they're better than everyone. But ultimately, it leads to their own downfall, I think. So anyway, let's go into my article now. I know I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but these topics are very interesting for me. I'm very passionate about these topics because they also I went through the whole process. You see, it's part of my life, I think, because philosophy, spirituality, and all these other topics they're part of my life, and This is why I kind of understand the issues perhaps a bit more. And it's important that people don't, unnecessarily, make these mistakes, yes? So I began my article with this quote: "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves." This is what Jesus said, yes? False prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. It's true. Ultimately, only Jesus Christ is the source of our salvation. So, let's talk about the New Age movement now. So, this began in the 60s, I believe, with the counterculture, with taking a lot of drugs and everything, and it has resulted in a lot of these people popping up, telling everyone that they've achieved enlightenment. Yes, and these people they subsequently share their views as to how to achieve this. Yes. Personally, I don't believe in this enlightenment. I don't think it's possible. Yes, you can improve your mental health. You can work on your trauma. You can process your trauma, but you won't. I don't think you'll ever achieve some bliss. Yes. The only thing you can do really is try to imitate Jesus Christ as much as you can. This is the only thing you can do. It's what I've noticed. But I don't want to be too negative. Yes, so some of these New Agers, I think they have good intentions. They have a lot of insights to offer, but I still believe they are fallen into pre-lest. Yes, and pre-lest, it's a term that I discovered from the world of Christian orthodoxy, and this talks about a false spiritual state. So I heard about this for the first time from a YouTuber called Jay Dyer. And I recommend everyone to follow him and to follow him on YouTube. He is one of the thinkers that shaped my worldview in a good way. Yes, probably one of the only thinkers who has a coherent, consistent, logical worldview. Yes, and when a person is in this spiritual state, they believe yes they are more holy than others. Yes, they're in the know. They're chosen by God. And yes, the problem with this is that you can quickly fall into pride. Yes, you can become very prideful. Your imagination and your fantasy that you develop in your mind based on all these spiritual experiences can lead to a very distorted worldview. Yes, and because you're in this pre-lest, you start to ignore your own sins. You keep on picking on others, that they're the sinners, they're in the wrong, they're sinners, they're deluded, they're wrong. But you don't really reflect on yourself. And this is dangerous. So yes, I don't know if I mentioned this, but pre-lest is a term from Christian orthodoxy. There are other YouTubers online that are involved with orthodoxy, that are part of the Orthodox Church. So we can think of Josiah Trenum. He's a brilliant man, Josiah Trenum. He helped me a lot, Josiah Trenum. Father Spyridon. So he's a British English Orthodox priest. He's great as well. I mean, there's a lot, yes, you can find them online. So yes, this is why ultimately thinkers such as David Icke, Osho, Sadhguru, they are dangerous, yes, because they kind of infect you with this strange mentality, yes, strange mentality, and yes, so these thinkers such as David Icke, Osho, Sadhguru, they're dangerous to follow, yes, in the long run. So this is why I apply a rule, yes, and this is the rule. If anyone claims to be the chosen one or special, or they say to you, you are God, I would be careful. Yes, I would avoid them, and I think ultimately they're leading you down the wrong path. Your mental health will suffer, I think, because only Jesus Christ offers true salvation, and it's just my view, my experience, and my position, really. So yes, I had to pause the video because there was someone at the door, so I kind of lost my train of thought. But yes, what else did I want to say? Yes, okay. Let's talk a bit more about how they distort reality. Yes, so I mentioned previously that New Agers they notice, they pick up on processes that are negative for humans. I agree with them on this. So they're not totally worthless, but then they go to extremes and they start talking about simulation theory, how everything's a simulation. I think this is dangerous because simulation it implies a deterministic worldview. This is my thought. I think there's a direct link between simulation theory and determinism, and determinism is a problem because if this universe is deterministic, humans don't have any degree of freedom or free will, and this is an issue. Yes. So, yes, simulation theory, the Matrix. I mean, yes, we all want to escape the Matrix. We all want to work less and have more free time for ourselves. But at the same time, the Matrix is required, yes, in order for everything to function. People need to work in order for civilization to function, yes. And personally, I think work is not a bad thing. You can find work that is fulfilling, yes. And we should respect those who work because ultimately they are the people who make this whole bloody thing run. Yes, if it wasn't for them, then everything would collapse. Yes, obviously, it's possible that robotics and AI will change this situation because then a lot of people who worked previously will no longer be required. But I mean, this can be a good process or a bad process, and it goes back to my point it goes back to my point about AI and robotics, that if we implement these new technologies in the right way and use them to free humanity rather than to enslave humanity. So by this I mean that because people don't have to work, they can receive some form of income, yes, that previously would have gone to them, but now goes. It's not goes, but the income has been replaced by the robot. Yes, by whatever is executing this function. I mean, on this topic, when it comes to robotics, AI, and its impact on society. We just need to make sure that the people in charge are thinking about us, yes, and that that these people who will implement the robotics AI revolution, to make sure that they're not bloody tyrannical. Yes, this is the issue. But I don't really have a point of view yet, to be honest, on this topic. I need to read up more. Yeah, I don't really have more to say right now about this. So anyway, moving on. Near the end of my article, I started talking about, I started to write about trying to seek special experiences. Yes, so a lot of people have a wrong conception about spirituality. They constantly want to experience something special. Yes, but this is the wrong approach, because if you're trying to seek something special constantly, then this is a path to delusion. Yes, and at this moment in time, I'm thinking of ayahuasca trips, mushrooms, magic mushrooms. Yes, a lot of people they take a lot of these drugs too much, in my view, and personally, I think it's dangerous, because you can fall into this pre-lest. Many people who have taken ayahuasca, they end up committing suicide, and because they become distorted. Yeah, well, they become divorced. Yes, and from reality, and the experience is too overwhelming. Yes, their mind is not ready for the impact, and yes, well, it's true that these compounds can help with your depression. So there is research that is coming out which proves that these mushrooms, yes, these other kind of psychedelics, they can improve your depression. And personally, I took magic mushrooms once. I took a mega dose when I had these mental health problems. To be honest, looking back now, I don't know why it just happened. Yes, I suddenly thought, I want to take this. I guess I was just lost, and I had a really good trip. I have to be honest, I had a great experience. But then afterwards, I always questioned it. Yes, I wasn't sure if it was from God or if it was from Satan. Yes, because Satan likes to deceive us. Satan likes to deceive us, and we need to be wary. Which is why I didn't take them anymore. I only took these mushrooms once. I must say I had a great experience. It made a massive change afterwards in my life. My behavior improved, my habits. I guess it's because these magic mushrooms or these other psychedelics, they foster more connections in your brain, perhaps, or they initiate the process where you are able to create more connections in your brain, perhaps between the left and the right hemisphere, and therefore your mental health starts to improve. Yes, but yes, then I didn't take them anymore. I've never took them since. I've never taken them since, and I'm happy really, because I think if you start taking them too much, if you start to go on loads of trips constantly, you just become deluded, man. And it takes a long time to kind of reverse engineer your spiritual delusion. This is what I wrote down here. It can take a long time indeed. I think I've been on this process for the past maybe I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe a bit longer, where I've been kind of reverse engineering this spiritual delusion of mine, because I think I was slightly spiritually deluded. I thought I was so important. I was a bit like I was like this new ager. Yes, I thought I was so important. Yes, and I fell into this a form of spiritual narcissism. To be honest, I have to be honest. It wasn't as pronounced, I think, as in people like David Icke and others, but it was there. Yes, perhaps it's still here now. I guess the viewer will be the judge of this. But I don't think I am in pre-list anymore. I'm constantly observing my thoughts. I'm constantly, praying, asking for mercy, for forgiveness, and yeah, it's helped. Definitely has helped. And I guess I can link this thought of mine now to Mr. Icke, yes. So I believe he had many of these ayahuasca trips. If you listen to him online, he talks about how he had all these trips. And I think this is the source of his delusion, yes, of his pre-list. Icke is led by a false spirit, in my opinion, and someone needs to put him on the right path, really, because now I think he's causing a lot of damage. But anyway, I ended my article with this thought that we should not rely on one thinker, yes, or a handful of thinkers. We should expand our mind and read loads of books, yes, listen to various thinkers, because as you add up all of these ideas and thoughts from other people, you perhaps notice some inconsistencies, some illogical patterns, or some delusions, perhaps, and it allows you to position your own position much more clearly. This was why I included this funny quote I found online. I don't know who wrote it. All are lunatics, but he who can analyze his delusions is called a philosopher. That is a great quote. This is why philosophy is so important, because philosophy questions our presuppositions. It goes to the basis of all things. It questions the nature of reality, whether we are thinking about reality in the correct manner. And it helps to put us on the right path. Philosophy is so key. Really is very key. And it can change your life, really. Philosophy can change your life for the better. So yes, that's the end of my video for today. I hope you found it interesting. At times, perhaps I was a bit unclear, but I like to do these videos in one take. I don't see the point editing, over editing myself. I just press play, press record, and say what I think, really, and go through this dialectical process in my own mind. And by doing this, come to a more coherent worldview. Yes. So yes, that's the end of my video. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help me grow the channel. If you like the video even more, consider donating at Buy Me a Coffee. And yes, that's all for today. Thank you for listening if you made it this far, and I wish you all the best. Take care.